Financial takeovers are a massive part of football at the moment. I'm sure we've all heard about the battle for Manchester United between Jim Ratcliffe and the Qatar Wealth Fund. Fans are excited, of course, and things could change in a big way for not only the Red Devils but the whole of the Premier League. Of course, with FIFA, you can actually make your own takeovers. It's not a super in-depth feature, in fact it's only a single choice that you have to make. How much budget do you want to give yourself? But if you come up with a storyline or a background to the takeover, you can actually give yourself a really fun career mode save. Takeovers can totally change the idea of your save. Let's say that you want to build up a struggling Premier League side. Instead of doing a normal road to glory with Southampton, maybe slowly trying to build up with your academy, you can instead pretend that an Egyptian billionaire has taken over the Saints and wants to find the next Mohamed Salah, while also maybe investing in some big name talents. This feature means that poor teams can be made more fun, even if you prefer to fully rebuild your squads. If you think that the opposite might actually be more fun, of course you can also simulate that too. I'm sure we all know of a situation where a poorer owner has taken over a team from a rich man and they struggle with the lower budget and take some time to adapt. If you instantly fire youth scouts after you hire one, it will actually lower your budget for the current season and the next season. You could simulate something like Mike Ashley's ownership at Newcastle here. If you're getting big budgets, just waste most of it on youth scouts and you'll have a harder career mode save. I really do think that takeovers are a small way to give your save some personality. Your new owner might want to develop an academy that's better than Manchester City's new campus. They might want the biggest possible names of their nationality, or they might be a small club that wants really high reputation players who have been successful internationally or in the Champions League. Takeovers can be combined with storylines. If you randomize a nationality, you can have a storyline of this maybe being a former player, maybe a fan of a club in a different nation that's similar to yours, or so many other different storylines. One example could be maybe PK runs for president of Barcelona, using the connections of Andres Iniesta to get a Japanese investor on board with his bid. There's so many cool ideas you could make with just a tiny bit of thinking. Maybe he brings in some Japanese players, maybe a new sponsor, or maybe a whole new stadium. It's totally up to you. If you're lucky enough to play on PC, you can actually do the takeovers mid-season, because the only thing they do is change the transfer budget. On console, unfortunately, you'll have to decide before Season 1 begins, so do decide if you're going to do a takeover before you come up with your save idea. At least you do get custom messages inside the career mode on both console and PC, but all that will really happen is you'll get a few news items that will mention the takeover, and that's about the only change you'll get in career mode. If you do like the sound of doing a takeover save but you're struggling for idea, let's look at a suggestion from each of the top 5 European leagues. In England, your takeover could be the news that will shake up the football world, as Qatar's dream of owning a Premier League team will finally come true with their takeover of Manchester United. The club's loyal fans might be feeling uncertain about the future, what it means for human rights and things like that, but the Qatari owners promise to bring in a lot of new talent and invest in both the first team and the stadium. In France, it could be an American takeover that will surprise many as Olympique Lyonnais progress back to the top of French football. With the new owners promising to bring in fresh ideas and investment with the hopes of making Lyon a European footballing powerhouse, the French team's fans will be looking forward to seeing what the future holds for their team under American ownership. In Germany, it can be hard to justify a takeover thanks to how their ownership rules work with the 50+1 rule, but let's just forget that for a minute and say that local energy company E.ON is investing in Rot-Weiss Essen in the 3rd division. With such a big ownership change, with the stadium changing name, a new sponsor on the kits, and all of the investment that E.ON can bring thanks to their massive amounts of money, maybe Essen can potentially rise up the ranks and challenge some of the country's top teams. In Italy, the prospect of Ferrari investing in local team Modena to rival Red Bull in Europe could be an exciting one for football fans. With a legendary car manufacturer's financial backing, Modena could climb the ranks, get back up to the top division, and bring some pride to the city, its supporters, and the Ferrari brand. While finally in Spain, maybe Qatar Sports Investments decide they're not going to invest in Manchester United and instead explore a deal to buy Spanish club Malaga, something they are actually looking at in real life as well. With the Qatari group's acquisition, maybe new investments, some resources, and some Qatari players moving to Spain, Malaga could again be playing in La Liga and again be trying to compete for the Champions League like they were at the start of the last decade. Hopefully you like at least one of these saves, but if you've got your own ideas for cool or interesting transfers or takeovers in any of the other less popular leagues, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Of course, I can't do suggestions for the Polish league or the Chinese league. These are leagues I don't really know too much about the clubs. But on screen right now, there is a video and a playlist I think you'll enjoy if you did like this video. Thank you for watching, leave comments below, subscribe, thank you and goodbye.